We've got great news for fans of virtual reality. PlayStation is taking PC gaming seriously. And Tony Hawk is ollieing onto new consoles. All that and the latest and everything cool today in the Rundown. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. We've got some excellent news to dive into today, and today's episode is dedicated to our buddy Fred Wicks, who had this to say yesterday. Great editing, most professional and informative show on the web. I don't know if that's exactly true, Fred, but I'll take it. Thank you so much. You're very kind. Now, things looked a little bit iffy for PlayStation VR, but it looks like Sony is just getting started. That's the way it always goes. I was just on the Virtual Boys podcast talking about how important it was to the state of the VR gaming community for PlayStation to be invested in the future of VR, and there was some real question about how serious they were going to take it. They even went so far as to suggest that we're taking a wait-and-see kind of approach. PlayStation's Jim Ryan even said, I think we're more than a few minutes from the future of VR. PlayStation believes in VR, Sony believes in VR, and we definitely believe at some point in the future VR will represent a meaningful component of interactive entertainment. Will it be this year? No. Will it be next year? No. But will it come at some stage? We believe that, and we're very pleased with all the experience that we've gained with PlayStation VR, and we look forward to seeing where that takes us in the future. But today, thanks to a GQ magazine interview with PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan and a PlayStation blog post, we know that there is a PS5 exclusive VR solution coming our way. Now, we don't know when we're getting it, but we do know that it is in the works and it's going to have some pretty killer technology. On that PlayStation blog post, Hideaki Nishino, who's the Senior Vice President of Platform Planning and Management, wrote, "We're continuing to innovate with our new VR system so that our fans can continue to enjoy the unique experiences that are synonymous with PlayStation. We're taking what we've learned since launching PSVR and PS4 to develop a next-gen VR system that enhances everything from resolution and field of view to tracking and input. It will connect to PS5 with a single cord to simplify setup and improve ease of use while enabling a high-fidelity visual experience. They're also creating a new controller system for this new PS5, PSVR. I can't wait for this. It does feel like it's a little bit in line with the Oculus Link on the Oculus Quest, where you can just use a USB-C cable and connect it to a PC and have PC fidelity experiences. I was enjoying a little Star Wars Squadrons last night on my Oculus Quest 2 thanks to Oculus Link. It was really great. And so I think we're probably going to have something similar to that. It's still going to be tethered, which is kind of a drag because the tetherless VR experience that you can have with something like the Oculus Quest is insane. It's so phenomenal that you can just turn around and never even think about wires. But obviously this is going to do is it's going to tie PSVR next gen to PlayStation 5, and you're going to be able to use a lot of the horsepower from that machine. Now, Sony has been terrific at making PlayStation VR experiences. They've got such a strong foothold in game development. That Astro's Rescue Bot game was incredible. Their Iron Man VR experience was really, really cool. They had cool games like Firewall Zero Hour. When they launched PSVR initially, they worked with Rocksteady to make Batman Arkham VR, which was a pretty incredible demo. And then they did some awesome retrofits like the Wipeout Omega Collection VR experience, which was just eye-blisteringly cool. It was so freaking cool. Now, what I can't wait for is to be able to access a lot of that same content, because some of these games are pretty seminal VR experiences, but they've been sort of tied to this combination of technologies. The fact that we had to use PS3-era Move controllers to play some of these things is obnoxious. So it's going to be great to go back and revisit some of these classics with all kinds of new fidelity and crystal clear imaging and all of that. And hopefully Sony throws some big bucks at developing titles that they'll likely launch as exclusives for PSVR, but maybe not, because it does feel like PlayStation is starting to change its tune a little bit about exclusives. Some of the other big PlayStation news that's breaking today is the fact that Days Gone is going to be launching this spring on PC platforms, and that's huge, great news for everybody that's been looking at the PlayStation exclusive library with a lot of jealousy, and who wouldn't if you're outside of that ecosystem, because PlayStation has been investing in lots of fantastic titles. This is a big deal. This is a Sony Bend-developed title, developed right here in North America. I think it's the first of the North American developed games games that Sony is publishing onto the PC platform. And of course, it begs the question, what's going to happen next? What other types of Sony-published titles are going to make their way to the PC? Clearly, you can look at something like The Last of Us, which is going to be launching as an HBO show, as something that could benefit from an even broader audience. I'm sure there's tons of PC players that would love to play The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2. And you can even stretch out and think, well, Spider-Man comes with all kinds of built-in awareness, and there's so many players that would love to jump on board and be the web slinger, but you have to have a PlayStation platform in order to experience that. So maybe we're even going to dip that far. Now, Sony is saying that they're not going to port every single thing that they've published out there, but Days Gone kind of opens up a whole new avenue for them. They're kind of in a zombie state of mind with Days Gone, so you can think, okay, well, Last of Us makes a lot of sense as kind of the next step, especially with that TV series kind of connection. I think that would be huge. They had great success with Horizon Zero Dawn on the PC. I know that there were some, conflictions and some issues, some patches that had to be made for it, but it was a pretty phenomenal experience when you got it running well. I was completely transfixed jumping back into that game. And of course, 505 had the PC publishing rights for Death Stranding, which Sony had the console exclusivity for. And I loved playing Death Stranding. In fact, I was playing a little bit of Death Stranding yesterday, as a matter of fact, on the PC. It's a great fit there. These are exciting times. These huge companies, these publishing behemoths out there have always been walled gardens, but now they're experimenting. We're seeing that happen with Xbox publishing a lot of their first-party experiences on other platforms. There's a lot of experimentation that's happening, and I think what we're kind of moving towards is that idea that, yes, we're going to have subscriptions, and yes, we're going to have alliances with different companies and the types of material that they make, but we're just going to be able to experience them on a lot of different screens and on a lot of different platforms. So let me know, though. What do you think? Is this a good thing? Is this a good move for Sony to publish some of their first-party stuff, some of their exclusive hot commodities on the PC, and who knows, maybe eventually other platforms? I mean, we're getting MLB 21 The Show on the Xbox platform. Isn't that wild? I mean, we're going to see that PlayStation Studios brand, that PlayStation brand on a bunch of different machines. Do you ever think we'd get to a day like that? So yeah, it's a little bit hard to predict where Sony's going to publish some of their games, but not so hard to predict that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 was going to rock on other platforms. Today, Activision shot me a press release to let me know that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 is making the leap to the new generation of consoles, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series platforms. And it's going to be quick, too, March 26th. There's going to be a whole bunch of cool improvements, like running at 120 frames per second at 1080p or 60 frames per second in true 4K on the Series X and PlayStation 5. It'll be up-res 4K on the Xbox Series S. And they also announced that a Nintendo Switch version of the game is going to be coming at some point this year. Obviously, it's going to probably take a little bit more work to kind of compress the game, because it's such a beautiful game, to the Nintendo Switch. But this is such great news. It was one of the best games of 2020. In fact, one of the best things that happened in 2020. Can we just agree on that? Can't wait to see all of the nice little extras that they're going to add to the game. People that bought the digital deluxe version of the PS4 or Xbox One versions of the game, by the way, can upgrade for free to the new generation of machines. But if you didn't buy the digital deluxe version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2, but you bought it for PS4 or Xbox One, you can spend an extra $10 and upgrade for the new generations, if you've been lucky enough to find a new generation console, that is. Now, there is one quirk. If you have the physical edition of the Xbox One version of the game, you can't upgrade for free. You have to buy the game again for the Xbox Series S or X if you have one of those machines. If you have the PS4 physical disc, you can upgrade as well to the PS5. It's weird, but these are some of the kind of idiosyncrasies that we have to deal with as we transition from one generation to the next. I'm just happy that more Tony Hawk's Pro Skater love is coming. Hopefully there'll be some nice little surprises. Would love to see Spider-Man pop up on the skateboard, or, Crash Bandicoot or something. But you know what? I'm just happy that we're getting more Tony Hawk, and hopefully this leads to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3+4. Am I right? Now, just a couple of quick things to tell you about. The Invincible trailer has just dropped thanks to Amazon Prime Video. This is based on Robert Kirkman's incredible comic series. You definitely need to read this book. It's amazing. And the art style and the grittiness of the animated series looks like it's going to capture the book wonderfully. A lot of great performers in this show. Stephen Yun, Sandra Oh, J.K. Simmons. I can't wait. It comes out March 26th, and it looks like it's going to be bloody good fun. Also, I'm proud to be part of the Vancouver Film Critics Circle, and we've just named our picks for the best movie and the best performances and some other categories for the ridiculous year that 2020 was. But there were some killer movies like Nomadland, which won our Film of the Year. Also, Frances McDormand was the best actress of 2020. She's phenomenal in this movie. It's bleak, but it's beautiful. The late Chadwick Boseman was named Best Actor for his role in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and we gave the Best Screenplay to Aaron Sorkin for his work on the trial of the Chicago 7, and there are a lot of other deserving winners in our categories. I'll link down below where you can find out more, but congratulations to everybody that won, and thank you for entertaining us last year. Oh, and I've got one more thing. Yesterday, I unboxed this beautiful Omen 15 laptop. It's a 2020 model, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's very slim. It has a bunch of, USB ports and USB-C ports, and there's also an extra dongle, so you can plug this into an HDMI source, which is what I did. I ran a bunch of games on this. The first thing that I did was loaded up a couple of VR titles, played some Star Wars Squadrons on my Oculus Quest 2 through the Oculus Link. Perfect. Actually, the best iteration of Star Wars Squadrons I've experienced yet. It was so hard to stop playing the game. I jumped back in time even and played Lucky's Tale on Oculus and loved that as well. Then I threw in a little bit of Death Stranding, connected it to the television set, and saw it all in beautiful fidelity. I played a little of Persona 5 Strikers in 4K on my TV, and it looks staggeringly beautiful. And then the real test, I threw on a little bit of Cyberpunk, and this thing was running everything with Ray Tracing Ultra on. And that's when I knew that this machine, this beautiful laptop, is a beast. It's a real beast. It has an RTX 2070 Max-Q graphics card in there. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. It's an Intel i7-10750H processor at 2.6 gigahertz. It's got super fast Wi-Fi. I loaded in about 500 gigs of video games and was able to get on them very quickly last night. I think this thing is a real beaut. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep playing with this thing for the next week or so, and I'll have some thoughts. And maybe what I'll do is I'll live stream some gameplay off of this so you can see what a badass this machine is. But then the fine folks at Intel Canada said to me that I don't need to send this back to them. And in fact, I can send this out to one of you. Now, there's a couple of stipulations. We're setting up a new contest for you to win this, and the way that you can win it, first of all, you need to live in Canada. So this is only open to Canadians, and I'm sorry to everybody in Quebec, we can't open this up to Quebec. So it's got to be the other provinces across Canada. You got to go to our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/electric playground. You'll see a skill testing question. Just, the details on how you can win this, and then a question. Answer the question. I'll pick the best response, and that will be the person that gets to enjoy this incredible HP Omen 15 laptop. It's a pretty remarkable giveaway, I know. I'll show it off a little bit more, but I'm going to pick that winner on the March 5th episode of The Rundown. So the Facebook page will go up today. Take a look at it. Think about it for a second, put your best response down, and then I will give this out to one lucky winner out there. So not too bad, right? Thank you to our friends over at Intel Canada for that one. You're going to make somebody incredibly happy. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for our rundown today, but I'll be back again tomorrow with a live rundown, and then we'll play some games afterwards, so please come back for that one. Thank you so much for watching today. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your comments, and thank you to all of our EPN members. We'll see you soon, and until then, play forever.